tonight on Nebraska Nightly. A new era for the University of Nebraska system.
Plus a new athletic director for the Huskers.
And we're preparing for the upcoming election. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Elena Tomish.
And I'm Skylar Sears. Our top story today. The University of Nebraska Board of Regents announced Dr. Jeffrey Gold as priority candidate for president of the University of Nebraska system. Board members have been looking for the right fit for more than 2 months. Gold became chancellor of the University of Nebraska Medical Center in 2014.
In particular, I'm impressed with his track record as a proven leader, a strategic thinker, and his commitment to One Nebraska.
The Regents' next meeting will be held April 19th after Gold travels to all 3 Nebraska universities to meet community members.
Well, in other personnel decision, Interim President Chris Kaborek announced that Troy Dannon as the new athletic director of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Governor Jim Pillen praised the hire of Dannon, and in a release statement, Pillen said securing the immediate commitment of a strong AD like Dannon signifies to all Nebraskans and to their competition across the country that Nebraska intends to succeed. Dannon will replace Trev Alberts, who left last week to become AD at Texas A&M. We will have more on this change in UNL director and the UNL athletic director later in sports.
A Nebraska state senator raised eyebrows Monday when he read from a book that graphically describes a rape. It was during a debate on keeping certain materials out of schools. As Alex Whitney reports, the senator is under fire for inserting the names of 2 colleagues into the prose.
His actions created a world of hurt for hundreds, if not thousands, of Nebraska women, and I'm guessing men as well.
Debate in the unicameral can sometimes go off the rails. During Monday evening's floor debate, Senator Steve Halloran decided to shock his colleagues by reading an excerpt from the book Lucky, a 1998 memoir where the author describes her experience of being raped and beaten during her freshman year of college. The language was graphic, but the debate took on a whole new character when Halloran decided to insert some of his fellow senators into the narrative.
He kicked me and I crawled into a ball. I want to blow Senator Kavanaugh. Put it in your mouth. I kneel before him, Senator Kavanaugh.
The backlash to Halloran's comments was immediate.
Despicable, deplorable.
Okay.
Senator Michaela Kavanaugh called the comments disgusting, inappropriate, and out of line, and Speaker John Arch moved to adjourn the body early just a few minutes later.
Well, I think it's cheap shots. It's people who can't make an argument in support of their idea, so they attack other people personally.
On Tuesday, during a motion to overrule the agenda to discuss his comments, Halloran attempted to apologize, first telling the body that he was actually referencing Senator John Kavanaugh before doubling down and telling senators that their outrage should be directed at the book and not his excerpts.
That's what we should be outraged about. It was a blow-by-blow lesson on how to rape a woman. That's where the outrage should be. Not in my pointing it out that it's in a book.
The half-hearted apology wasn't enough for many of Halloran's colleagues, who said that his comments went beyond the pale of a legislative discussion.
We can't have an HR policy because this place is special. This place is special because it's the one place in the state of Nebraska where you can get up and talk about raping a colleague and not have any professional consequences. We have to do better. We can't just let this go. We owe it to the little girls who are watching at home, wanting to be something like this when they grow up. We owe it to every Nebraskan because we're the most public workplace in this state and we deserve for it to be a professional workplace. Senator Halloran, you should be ashamed of yourself for being incapable of apologizing. There is no justification for your actions and you should resign.
John and Michaela Kavanaugh are siblings. Some senators want to see Halloran punished, but John Kavanaugh is not among them. He said he'd stand up for Halloran's right to free speech.
Well, the Nebraska primary election is less than 2 months away, and while the presidential nominees are set, there are local races on the ballot. The Lancaster County Election Commission is preparing for the May 14th vote. As voters get ready for the polls, they should keep in mind the state constitutional amendment that was passed in 2022.
For the first time in Nebraska law, voters will need to show a photo ID in order to vote, either in person on election day or by mail. The people of Nebraska.
If it has your name, your photo, and was issued by the state of Nebraska, it works as a voter ID. That includes a driver's license, a state ID, or even a university ID.
Students at UNL are calling for more education that would potentially protect sexual assault survivors. In recent light of an assault reported at Abel Hall last Sunday, the student body's attention has shifted towards safety concerns regarding sexual assault prevention on campus.
I feel like addressing rape culture as a whole, rather than having one consent activity at the beginning of the semester and doing that consistently throughout the school year, would be more beneficial to support survivors of sexual assault.
What happened last weekend is a reminder that students have to be more careful with these types of situations. The UNL Police Department suggests someone should always know where you are and where you're going.
Well, along with reminding students to be on guard for their safety, the university is continuing to promote sexual health for the benefit of the student body. Nebraska Nightly's Ben Marshall reports that UNL is taking a holistic approach to student sexual health.
The University of Nebraska-Lincoln makes it intentional to educate student body about preventing sexual diseases, practicing safe sex, and fostering healthy relationships. One way the university promotes sexual health is through experiences set up free to students.
So this event is really supposed to be an inclusive educational opportunity for people to come in and learn about healthy relationships, how to ask for consent, how to receive consent, and how to have communication about your boundaries, etc.
Condom, Cookies, and Consent is an event that is made to explore consent, relationships, and sexual health.
I think it's important just because I feel like not being educated enough and not knowing about consent and all that is just, it's like, in this day and age, it's kind of important to know about all that and just have that knowledge.
As part of their services, the University Health Center provides low-cost STD tests. UNL says it wants all students to be able to get the testing and care they need.
I think from a University Health Center standpoint, it's super important that cost isn't a factor whenever you're anything healthcare related. You don't have to have insurance to come here. We have different plans, so if you're through Nebraska Medicine, we have financial assistance, so if you're low income on your own, we can help you pay that way.
Health Center staff say being educated about sexual health is the safest path for everyone in the UNL community. Ben Marshall, Nebraska Nightly.
Well, college basketball season is coming to a close, and it's an incredibly exciting time for Husker fans everywhere. Olivia Davenport is here to talk with us today about the Husker Hoops upcoming games.
Well, it's March, and that means madness. The NCAA basketball tournament started Thursday, and both the Husker men and women take the floor tonight. First up, the men will take on Texas A&M at 5:50. The number 8 seeded Huskers will look to get their first NCAA tournament win ever. The women also play tonight, also against Texas A&M. They will take on the Aggies at 9:30 in Oregon. Both teams will play Sunday if they win tonight.
So exciting. I just really hope both of them win.
I agree.
Be a good night in Lincoln if they do, that's for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Olivia. Well, with the men's basketball game in Tennessee, meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has the forecast for tonight's game out in Memphis. Dominic?
Thank you, Elena. Well, the K-State Tominaga 3 isn't the only thing that's going to be raining tonight. It is actually raining in Memphis right now as the team just left the team hotel here, 61 degrees in Memphis. Light rain showers in the area, and then by the time we move to tip-off about 6 p.m. tonight, 59 degrees will be your temperature. Winds will be out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as the game goes on, we're still going to see some rain showers till about 8 or 9 p.m., 57 degrees for your temperature there. And by the time the game ends, about 10 p.m., 57 still. However, those rain showers have cleared out, so anyone looking at taking a trip to Beale Street after the game should be nice. Maybe bring a jacket or two, but other than that, a lot warmer than we're looking back here, and we'll have those current conditions and the week ahead after the break. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominic. Well, coming up after the break.
A missing Missouri student has been found in Nashville.
A new ceasefire may be on the horizon for Israel and Hamas.
And there could be another government shutdown starting tomorrow. More after the break.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5% or 2 million tons was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly, and hopefully we're welcoming back the warmer weather for the weekend. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has more for weather. Dominic.
Thank you, Elena. Well, those warmer temperatures are going to wait a couple more days. We're going to be a little cooler this weekend. Currently in the capital city, overcast skies, breezy, and a temperature of 39. Winds out of the northwest at 20 to 25 miles an hour, gusting up to 30. Hold on to your hat, folks, because those are going to fly away real fast today. Partly cloudy skies tonight. The low down into the mid-20s, and will be winds out of the northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour, still gusting up to 20. And starting your weekend off on Saturday, mostly cloudy skies. Chance for a few flurries overnight. 45 degrees will be your high there, and winds will shift to being more out of the east, northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. However, that gust up to 20 is still a possibility. Looking over the next 18 hours or so, we got some colder air working its way down from Canada here. We got that high pressure system. That's really what's going to help us keep cold over the next couple days, and that snow chance working its way slowly across the state of Nebraska over about the next day and a half. Your current satellite imagery, we got a lot of warm, moist air working its way up across the southeastern part of the country right now. The nice rising motion giving us those clouds. Like we mentioned earlier, raining down in Memphis, that's part of the reason there. However, across more of the central part of the country into the Rocky Mountains, sinking motion, that's keeping those skies nice and clear. Statewide temperatures right now, 34 out in Shadron, 47 out in Scottsbluff, still waiting to cool down out there, 31 up in Valentine, 47 down in McCook. Looking more into the central and eastern part of the state, 39 in Ord, 34 in Norfolk, and 35 in Omaha. The rest of your week here in Lincoln, flurries possible going into Sunday. And then Sunday is our big rain chance. It'll be nice and rainy. We need the rain around here. Still going to be pretty windy. 54 for your high, though. We'll start the week out on Monday, 50 degrees, and then we drop down to 19 overnight. Could see a chance for some flurries or two. However, Tuesday, sun's right back out, 39 degrees, still having that wind as a factor. Wednesday, we move to 50, mostly sunny skies. Thursday, 62, and we'll close out the week on Friday. Partly cloudy skies and a high of 65 degrees. Back to you at the desk.
In Nashville, Tennessee, the search for a missing college student has come to an end. On Friday, the body of 22-year-old Riley Strain was pulled from the Cumberland River in West Nashville. That's about 8 miles away from where the University of Missouri student was last seen. He vanished 2 weeks ago after he was kicked out of a bar in downtown Nashville. Authorities said no trauma was found that would indicate foul play. An autopsy is pending.
The United States Secretary of State Anthony Blinken returned to Israel as part of a push to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. On Friday, Blinken met with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli War Cabinet. His visit to Tel Aviv came on the same day as a UN vote on a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza conflict failed. This marks Blinken's 6th round of shuttle diplomacy in the region since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. Next week, Israeli officials are expected to travel to Washington.
By this time tomorrow, parts of the federal government could be shut down. Lawmakers are rushing to make a budget deadline tonight, but they could miss it. Amy Kiley reports on what that would mean for Americans.
This is what Washington has devolved into.
In mere hours, these federal departments and other agencies could shut down. A plan to keep them open appears to have enough support to pass.
I'm predisposed. We want to keep the government funded.
The question is, when will the legislation be enacted? And the answer determines how this process could affect Americans.
There's a sentiment to try, for a number of reasons, personal and political, to get the job done before midnight.
Scenario 1, on time. This might come down to the Senate, where a single senator can slow a bill's passage.
There needs to be amendments. That's going to happen.
Scenario 2, a few hours late. Approved legislation doesn't just land on President Joe Biden's desk. Clerks need time to prepare it. Earlier this month, Biden signed a budget package hours after the deadline, and it made no real difference. Scenario 3, a day or two late.
It'll probably end up they're going to try to push it to Saturday or Sunday, and they'll work a deal.
That would affect federal employees in unfunded departments who work weekends. Most essential ones would have to work without pay. Scenario 4, even longer. Weekday scenarios have a greater effect on federal workers, access to services, the U.S. economy, and average Americans.
No one practical wants a government shutdown, so I hope we will avoid it.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Breaking news this afternoon, Princess Kate Middleton of Wales announced that she was diagnosed with cancer and is undergoing chemotherapy. The type of stage of her cancer has yet to be revealed by the royal family. The latest on Middleton is that she's expected to return to her official duties in April. It's really just crazy because we weren't hearing anything about her condition for so long. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden.
It's really upsetting, especially with King Charles also with cancer. So, coming up after the break, a new athletic director for the Huskers.
The baseball team continues their winning streak.
And highlights from the softball team's recent game, all after the break.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back. Well, now that spring is here, baseball and softball seasons are really in full swing, and Nebraska Nightly's Olivia Davenport has all the details. Olivia?
Just 7 days after Treb Alberts departed for Texas A&M, Troy Dannon is hired as the next athletic director for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. His contract is set for 6 years. Troy Dannon had been the athletic director at Washington since October. Before that, he was the AD at both Northern Iowa and Tulane. He has worked on the NCAA Football Oversight Committee, the NCAA Football Competition Committee, and the NCAA Transformation Committee. Head coach Matt Rule said he is fired up about this hire and believes this is the right hire for the future of Nebraska. Now on to the baseball diamond. The Huskers are heading into the weekend on a 5-game win streak. They will take on New Mexico State in a 3-game series that started at 4:05. Brett Sears got the start today, and Drew Christo will have the start Sunday. Mason McConaughey will start Sunday. That will be his first weekend start as a Husker. The Huskers hosted the Omaha Mavericks. Bottom of the 4th, Case Sanderson finds the gap. His RBI single puts the Huskers up 4-0. First career start for Mason McConaughey, and he showed off. He would finish with 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. Nebraska adds insurance. Dylan Carey ropes an RBI double as the Huskers defeat their in-state rival 11-5. To Bullen Stadium we go, where the Cornhuskers fall to the Omaha Mavericks 5-2. The Mavericks' 4-run inning in the 3rd helped propel them to victory. Huskers pitcher Kaylin Kinney pitched 3 innings, giving up all 5 runs. Kinney received the loss, giving her a record of 10-8. The Huskers will look to bounce back this weekend as Illinois comes to town for a 3-game series. Sticking with softball, Billy Andrews has been dominant on the field this spring and is tied for most runs in school history. But Andrews' impact on Husker Nation can be felt in a different way. Nebraska Nightly sports director has more on the Husker star shortstop.
When Nebraska softball fans hear the name Billy Andrews, they think the team captain, the shortstop. But there's a side of Andrews that fans may not be familiar with.
moving forward, probably more graphic design, but I feel like drawing more just on like my free time, like fun stuff.
Now, Billy's work isn't hidden to her sketchbook. At every Husker home game this season, you'll see drawings of the players on the front, all those drawn by Billy herself.
That is cool. Like, I think, yeah, like that's something that can be remembered or people can save, and like I did that, so it's cool.
This is kind of what set her apart, and I think it was the first day that we put one out. You know, I indicated to Husker Nation that these are drawn by Billy Andrews, and then I think people kind of started looking for him.
Billy's twin sister Brooke plays right alongside her as the starting center fielder for the Huskers, and being the sister of the artist comes with its perks.
If she picked one I didn't like, I would be like, no, you got to start over, you got to do a different picture to make sure it was a good picture, because I'm like, I see it, so I'm like, make it look good.
Whether she's hitting home runs on the field or drawing artwork off of it, Billy Andrews has found a sense of identity in both sides. But where does she feel most at home? Well, the answer to that one is pretty simple.
Probably softball, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Do it with more people than just myself. And yeah, being around a team, more fun.
Senior Billy Andrews. Reporting from Bowlin Stadium, Trey Marler, Nebraska Nightly Sports.
Thanks, Trey. I think it's so cool that Billy is able to have her drawings shown to all of Huskers.
It just shows how supportive I think Husker athletics are in promoting other interests and talents.
Right, I love it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, when we return,
an alternative rock artist overcoming hearing loss performs in Lincoln.
A create your own custom candle scent.
And an expo celebrating all things dogs is coming to town, all after the break.
3, 2, 1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Bob!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of times a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Welcome back. Well, to take your mind off the stress from being back from spring break, entertainment anchor Camille Andel is here with some fun events happening in Lincoln this weekend. But first, she's going to take us back to last weekend with a fun St. Patrick's Day concert. Camille?
Two-time Grammy-nominated alternative rock artist Kay Flay performed in Lincoln for the first time this past Sunday at the Bourbon Theater. Kay Flay released her latest album, Mono, after she went completely deaf in her right ear. The cause is sudden sensorineural hearing loss and labyrinthitis. Mono is about the disorienting feeling that her hearing loss caused and the power of change. Kay Flay's next stops are in Seattle on March 24th and 25th and San Francisco on March 27th and 28th. Kay Flay performed singles Rah Rah and Shy from Mono, as well as her hits High Enough and Blood in the Cut. This Saturday, March 23rd, create a one-of-a-kind candle scent at AR Workshop Lincoln. Their candle pouring and scent mixology workshops begin at 1 p.m. and prices start at $59 for 2 candles. These are the perfect gift for a loved one or for your home. Feel free to bring your favorite snacks and drinks and enjoy a cup of coffee while you pour. If you love dogs, this event is for you. The I Love My Dog Expo will be held at the Sand Hills Global Event Center on March 23rd and 24th. Admission is only $10 and includes entertainment, games, training demonstrations, and of course, plenty of shopping. Be sure to go pamper you and your pup this weekend.
Well, before we go, I have to know, you guys, who do you think is going to win March Madness?
My money's on UConn. They looked pretty good today, so.
I got UNC through and through. You know, predicting the weather doesn't exactly translate to predicting brackets. We're still holding up all right, and I think North Carolina is going to take it all the way.
Interesting. I won't tell you mine, but I just was curious. Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Nebraska Nightly.